This is the Uptick Network Stock Day Podcast, sponsored by InvestorsHangout.com. Penny stock news and interviews from the microcap world. Public information on OTC, pink sheets, and microcap stocks from around the world. With your host, Everett Jolly.
On today's show, we have a very exciting guest with us. He's returning, a returning guest, if you will. His name is Angelo DeRosa. He is the chairman of Sterling Consolidated Corp. Well, they trade on the OTC pink sheets under the ticker symbol STCC. Angelo, welcome back to the show.
Good morning. Welcome. Thank you for having me.
You know, I'm really excited to have you back because, you know, the oil prices have been dropping. I wanted to know how that's kind of been affecting your business a little bit. And also, I want to get this year's financial statements. But before we do that, would you give my listeners just a little bit of background of your company and yourself?
Okay. Sterling Consolidated Corporation is the holding company for the public entity, but I started the company back in 1969 in my house with one account, and today we have 3,800 accounts on the books, and we changed the name to Sterling Seal and Supply Inc. That's our operating company, and we have a website, and they can go on the website and see the products that we carry. In 1974, I purchased the other half of the business from my partner at the time, and I took the company solely and moved it to South Amboy and then grew it from there. I started with one employee, and now today we have 28 employees. We are a wholesale distributor of rubber O-rings and gaskets in the mainly in the automotive market, but we deal with a lot of distributors.
How big is that market space?
It's a multi-billion-dollar market. It's huge because a lot of companies sell O-rings as a side. Oh, I have O-rings also on the shelf, that kind of stuff.
Right.
But we primarily concern ourselves with rubber O-rings. That's our forte. We have 5 major compounds in stock at all times, and I've gotten the inventory up to over $3 million, and it's starting to it's paying dividends, let's put it that way. We're starting to get some really nice new business. Now,
are you dealing with distribution companies? Are you dealing with Fortune 1000 companies? Who is your clientele?
Our clientele is so diverse, it would take me all day to explain to you the number of different companies we do business with. One of the things that just recently happened is we started dealing with a pool wholesaler who sells pool supplies to resellers. Okay?
Right.
And he came through with a 6-figure order on August 31st, and we now have about 20 special molds that we made for him, which is going to be an integral part of his marketplace. And he's a $500 million company, and we now have what they call the splines, which are special gaskets for pools, and along with the O-ring business. So we're branching out into mechanical seals, I should say. So we've gotten him, and it's really starting to take off with him. That's just one account.
Would you guys say that you're an OEM, original equipment manufacturer?
No.
But you do make your own O-seals, yes?
No, we don't. We basically buy that stuff, but we have a vulcanizing setup facility in North Carolina, which we can vulcanize any size O-ring you want, from 2 inches in the ID all the way up to, if you want to put them on a space shuttle, it'll be 12 foot in diameter. Make them with ease because we have the tooling and the equipment all done, and we're actually doing that right now.
Let's talk about this year's financials. You know, last year in 2015, I think you guys did a little bit north of $6 million in revenues. What's going to happen in 2016? Where are we at?
We should exceed that. Because the first 2 quarters of this year we've been profitable. We filed a 10K. I think the 2015 report has been filed, and it showed a loss. But this year, the first quarter, we showed a net profit, and the second quarter we showed a net profit. Just has to be, our CFO just has to finish certifying it and then filing the 10K reports with the SEC. But both quarters were profitable. And the third quarter, we're also looking at the same thing. What we did over the course of 2015 is we substantially cut a lot of operating expenses, and we got rid of about 5 people. which really helped a lot. And that turned us to profitability. So we became quote unquote lean and mean, and it's worked out very, very well. But I'm excited about some of the new products we've got coming down the line. We've taken on a line of, you ready for this?
Yes.
They're called bungs, B-U-N-G's, S's, and what they do is they're used as corks. If you know anything about wine and how wine is made, they got to be made in barrels.
Right.
And this is the cork for that barrel, and it's made out of an FDA, Food and Drug Administration approved silicone, and we've got 12 different sizes in different colors. And in the first month, we got our first order for 1,000 of them, and it's really, we've gotten tremendous reception from some of the wineries. They don't buy large quantities of them, but they're interested because they can buy them in colors and use them as a part of their marketing tool. So if they sell a barrel of wine, the barrel,
right,
this cork could be their color, like lime green or yellow or white or clear, and they can do it that way. So we just started marketing that, and it seems to be like it's going to be a new product that's going to really take off for us.
So they could set up their product line as a color coded.
Correct. That's correct. And they can buy it. They can actually resell it. Which they'll do is, like, let's say they sell 10,000 barrels a year, which we just quoted. We quoted last week 10,000 pieces to a barrel manufacturer, and he's going to resell them along with the barrels. So who knows how big that's going to be? And he sells 10 to 20,000 barrels a year.
The company that we're highlighting today is Sterling Consolidated Corp. Well, they're a supplier of hydraulic and pneumatic seals. The chairman of that company is Angelo DeRosa. He's with us today. They also trade on the OTC pink sheets under the ticker symbol STCC. You know, Angelo, last time I had you on the show about 3 or 4 months ago, one thing I really did like about you as a chairman of a company, you were able to go out to mom and pops, buy up those small companies and bring them into the fold, if you will. Tell me about some of your new inquiries. Are we still on that road path? And do we have any new orders going in?
We have one right now that we're waiting on. Hopefully, we could sit down and really negotiate big time in the next couple of months. It's actually right here in the state of New Jersey, and it's a small two brothers own it, and one of the brothers just retired, and we're hoping that they just consider, they're both about my age, and hopefully that they'll say, you know, this is it, we're ready to go, and that'll really help us out for 2017. It'll add about $2 million in sales with a very profitable bottom line, which we really like. So, and they're in the custom molded rubber O-ring business, so we're hoping for that one. And we got our feelers out. We haven't heard much back from anybody yet, but we've got our feelers out to all the distributors that we do business with that buy from us, see if anybody's interested. We ask them on a regular basis, but nobody's really come back and said, yeah, I'm interested in talking about it. So, but that's where we have one right now that's pretty interesting that we're going to continue to pursue.
Do you think you guys will ever change your model, that you'll start bringing everything in-house, that you'll actually start making the O-rings there in-house, or are you just still going to be a supplier?
No, we're still going to be a supplier. To manufacture O-rings in the United States is really prohibitive. You need a couple $1 million to set up and run it. Even though we have the facility to do that, it's not economical. Because the products that we sell, I could buy products so cheap it's just incredible. You can't make it for that price. Potential
acquisitions. Do we have any in our sites?
Yeah, I have one. I have one on my site right now. But like I said, it probably will come around to the beginning of 2017. It should break. So that's about a $2 million. Then we're gonna once we get that one out of the way, then we're really gonna go out and start looking for some other ones that are larger in the $5 million range. But right now we like to stay between 2 and 5 million.
This is the part that I'm trying to, I was going over your financials last night. This is the part that I'm having a hard time wrapping my hands. And please correct me if my numbers are wrong. Your market cap is north of about $814,000. Your stock price is at 2 cents.
Correct.
Your revenues last year were north of $6 million. We didn't have a positive cash flow, but you think that in 2016 we will become positive cash flow?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We've already paid down since January 1st. We've already paid down over $500,000 of our debt.
And so what I'm trying to get my hands and arms around, I just feel you guys are grossly undervalued. Are we have any plans to get that out to anybody and to really, because you built a great business in my eyes. I talk to literally, Angelo, hundreds of CEOs every month, and they don't have the revenues. They have a negative balance sheet. They have no real assets. I mean, if we took your liabilities minus your assets, the assets would be greater than your market cap. Am I correct?
That's correct.
And
That's
so,
correct.
I mean, the deal finances itself. So what gives?
Well, we have a line of credit and a mortgage, and that stymied us the first 3 years. So we've really gotten that under control. As I said previously, we cut a lot of extraneous expenses off our overhead, and that's turned us around to profitability and better cash flow. We are paying our bills. We are paying our bills in 45 to 60 days, which we were not doing. So what we've done is we've gotten that under control. We're now paying everybody. We're paying down our debt on a regular basis. Every month we pay down some more against our line of credit, and we're going to get that down to. We want to pay that off, and as we continue to do that, that's freeing up. We're freeing up more cash because we're profitable also, and that's making us go. That's going to make us go out and seek more companies because of our profitability. We're really hoping that our stock is going to start moving because of this, and if we can get that to start moving, we can use the stock itself as
Absolutely.
a part of the bargaining. We want to use that as a part of the bargaining. We sit down with a company, let's say it's $2 million, and the guy wants $1 million for it. We can give him $500,000 of cash right out of operating, and we'll give him $500,000 in stock.
Absolutely.
And that's what we wanted to do. That was our whole premise when we went into this. We could pick up these companies, but unfortunately, our stock did just the opposite. It went down instead of going up. So that's what we'd like to do.
The growth, before I let you go, the growth of this year and the growth of next year, can you expand on that and give my listeners a little insight?
I have we've got quoted right now. I can assure you, we just quoted one job. It's $1 million in new business. I'm looking at next year being about a 20% growth for this company. We have, like I said, we got the pool supplier going. We have now another one that we quoted. We were approved on. It's $1 million order, and what it is, I don't want to go into details because of the part, but it's 10 million. It's 100 million pieces for $1 million, and it'll be 5 million pieces per week. We'll start shipping as soon as we get the order, which should break this month. That's one of 12 sizes in this company. Once we perform on the first $1 million, they'll give us a shot at the other 12 sizes. And then we've been competitive. We were the lowest bidder, so we're pretty sure based on our formula we should get the other business, which should really, really help us next year. And that's where we're partially banking on that one. But the pool industry's taking off. Our bungs, that's another thing that we don't know what it's going to go off into, but we're getting receptions like, we've shipped out in the last 3 weeks. I've shipped out 25 samples to 25 different companies of the bungs alone. So we're keeping our fingers crossed on that. So that's what we're doing. We're really revving up myself and my sales manager, my son, and
you're expanding your market share.
Absolutely.
Sterling Consolidated Corp is the company that we're highlighting. I think that Angelo is doing a phenomenal job as the chairman and founder of the company, Angelo DeRosa, and they trade on the OTC pink sheets under the ticker symbol STCC. In closing, Angelo, is there anything that you would like to get out to the listeners that you and I didn't get a chance to talk about?
No, basically the financials are improving tremendously. You'll see that. We've got a lot of new things cooking as far as products are concerned with the bungs, and maybe even get into, you're going to laugh at this, but wine bottles. There's a cork shortage in the world. So we're really considering considering taking these the formula for the bungs that go into the wine barrels and making wine corks for bottles. And that if we do that, and we get some orders for that, it's the sky's the limit. Because you know how many people drink wine in this world.
That is
more
true.
than 1 or 2 million. But that's a part of my long-term thinking, though, because I want to see the bungs take off first. If I get the bungs start going and they're going profitably, which they will be profitable, as they start growing, then I'll go into I might even consider going into that aspect of the wine industry, which I think is a wide open marketplace. Because they have a problem.
Absolutely. Sterling Consolidated Corp. It's a supplier of hydraulic and pneumatic seals. The chairman is Angelo DeRosa. They trade on the OTC pink sheets under the ticker symbol STCC. I'm one man's opinion, but I think it's very undervalued at 2 cents a share. Angelo, I want to thank you for coming on the show today. I wish you nothing but the best, and we're going to check back with you in a couple of months.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.